Good evening, and thank you for meeting with me today to discuss the health literacy issues surrounding trisomy 18, otherwise known as Edwards syndrome in our community. Before I begin the proposal solutions, I would like to first discuss some of the facts and effects about trisomy 18. So trisomy 18 is a genetic disorder that is caused by a full or partial 18th chromosome. So this right here, these are the chromosomes that were given at birth that decide everything. And right here you can see, instead of 2, like 17 and 16, there is a third one there, which is part of the defect. It is a more common, but most of these babies will not survive through the second or third trimester. 50% of all babies that are carried to term are sadly stillborn, most of which are male. 50% of all affected babies that are carried to term will not survive past their first week of life. Of these, less than 10% will reach their first birthday. Some of the more common symptoms of trisomy 18, also known as Edwards syndrome, are right here. And it's this, low birth weight, a small jaw and mouth, maybe a small head, abnormally shaped. Intellectual disabilities, there'll be defects in the heart and other organs. And so you'll be able to see from this image right here of this baby, the baby's head is misshapen. You can see the back of his or her head protruding. The baby has the clenched fists. This is called a rocker bottom foot, which just means that the back of the heel protrudes. It's abnormally shaped. You can see the poor little baby. His or her eyes are not normal. So these are just a few of the things that need to be addressed to our patients within our community, make doctors aware. So through this proposal, I will be addressing how to handle patient education for trisomy 18 for better understanding and preparation for the inevitable outcome. In the coming changes to our facility, we will strictly adhere to all CLAS standards, and to ensure that all CLAS standards are being adhered to and maintained, routine assessments will be performed on both our staff, the community, to determine their needs. Using this data as a jumping off point, we will make improvements and changes where necessary as we move forward. The first thing that we must do is to be proactive in the education of our community. Doctors should begin having in-depth and meaningful conversations with their patients both before and after a diagnosis, but not just conversations, but the introduction of information, especially after. Doctors should be sitting down with their patients to discuss facts and information about their condition and their situation. Patients should be handed the necessary educational materials to bring home and review so they can have a full understanding, hopefully, and be able to come back to their doctor and have some knowledge of what they've read and come to a conclusion that works best for them. To the end, improving health literacy of the area, the educational resources of our facility should be made readily and widely available to members of our community, especially to those who are not currently in our care. In order to make our resources as accessible as possible, everything that we produce should utilize more simple language, be produced in multiple languages, and include both hearing-based and sight-based assets. By having our resources be more widely accessible, more people will know what we do and how to deal with it should the need arise. The rollout of my proposal can be done in the next 6 to 8 months. Estimated cost of the proposed changes is around $3 million. Through the rollout of this proposal, the entire staff of the facility will be involved in this transition. Doctors and nurses will immediately get to work on compiling and developing educational resources. Doctors will also be asked to begin having more meaningful and in-depth conversations with their patients on their condition and situation. Administration will begin implementation of mass production of resources once they have been developed and approved. They will also assist in directing the rollout in order to avoid a miscommunication and errors. In conclusion of this proposal, we intend to adhere to all CLAS standards as the baseline of our proposed ideas. Having a more in-depth and meaningful relationship between not only our doctors and their patients, but between our facility and the community at large is extremely important. In this transition, all staff are to be involved in its implementation. Thank you for your time. Have a great evening.